It indicates a higher degree of yield here because we are holding water back in the subsurface drainage line.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Aaron Putsy and I'm visiting with Charlie Schaefer. Charlie serves as president of Agri, and Charlie, we're visiting here in Guthrie County. Your business is all about helping farmers find that perfect match between agronomic conservation. Tell us about Agri.
Agri is a manufacturer of water management products. We've been around since 1976. First started as contractors and then went strictly into manufacturing and distribution. And we really focus our effort on providing products that can support practices to improve agronomic outcomes, but also to look at environmental impact.
This is a soybean field, about 80 acres, that has a variety of practices being used on it. Walk us through what you have installed here in this field and some of the benefits that you've seen from an agronomic and a conservation standpoint.
It's really fun to be here because this particular field's been in the family for over 100 years. It was mom and dad and 5 brothers and I, so 6 boys in the family on 160 acres, and those were the good old days. We get to use this as a mini lab. We can do anything we want to out here, and so in addition to putting in some buffer strips and water and sediment control basins and subsurface drainage, we also looked at the opportunity to put some of our automatic water level control structure devices in here. So in the past 130 years, drainage and water management has been pretty much about getting water off the landscape and out of the soil profile, but we look at it now as a real resource, especially in view of the water quality related issues associated with nitrogen and phosphorus moving through the soil profile and flowing out into surface waters. This is the top end of the Middle River, and of course it flows about 135 miles southeast and dumps into the Des Moines River just south of Des Moines. So what we do here has an impact on downstream neighbors.
And by holding water back, you've seen a positive response this year in terms of holding that water back and seeing it show up on the yield monitor when this field was harvested.
We don't have any real specific numbers in terms of yield. We got about an average of 57 bushels per acre. And in a dry year, it indicates a higher degree of yield here on this side because we are holding water back in the subsurface drainage line. We're not adding water back in to sub-irrigate, but the drainage systems that's up in the higher reaches of the field are actually draining down into the lower areas, and it's passively sub-irrigating when we hold that water back by closing valves, automatically closing valves.
So Agri is a sponsor of the Iowa Soybean Association's Environmental Leader Award, and you've been that for some years now, and we want to thank you for that. Tell us, for farmers who are watching this, Charlie, and they're looking at their land and they have not yet looked deeply into this kind of technology, where do they start? How do they start?
They can talk to their drainage contractors. Most of them have a personal relationship with them. They trust them. They know what they're doing out there. But not everybody has opened up to the concept of drainage water management to actually shut some of these systems off. It's normal and natural to think we have to get the water off the landscape, but when you start thinking about the benefits of storing water and treating it like an actual resource, like an asset out there, the game changes a little bit. And so you can call Agri. We can always talk with you about that. We also have a small engineering firm called Ecosystem Services Exchange that can actually look at a farmer's field and make a remote recommendation based on LIDAR and slope and soils to give them some kind of an idea of what might be suitable in terms of practices on their field.
So last question, Agri, as you said at the start, more than a 45-year history of serving farmers, serving the land. Where do you see this kind of technology going? What's on the horizon, let's say the next 5 years?
I think it's real exciting to consider the potential opportunities that exist, not just to improve yield and reduce risk from excess moisture and drought conditions that we've experienced here in the past, but also look at things like environmental trading for water quality, when we can come in and verify and validate certain reductions in nutrient transport, and that becomes worth real money for the producers. We know we have markets in carbon now, so the proper drainage management helps to sequester carbon, helps improve a lot of soil health related issues. So we see automation really coming to play to provide not only those in-field active management services to the producer, but also with two-way telemetry to capture that information, record it, and verify that the intended results are occurring.
You know, it's exciting, and I know that's why you have loved what you've been doing for more than 45 years with Agri. It's really exciting to see the kind of work being done in the landscape. Again, to bring the agronomic, the conservation, the ROI that's part of all of that in one place and be able to see it when the crop comes out of the field. Reporting for this edition of the State of Soy, I'm Aaron Putsey.
My name is Will Corman with Tri-C Farms in Hardy, Nebraska. Data became a huge thing 10 years ago, and they just slowly been building more and more, collecting it. So the big question is, well, how are you gonna get that data to work for you? With the crop insurance side of it, the one way to make that data work for you is take that yield data and that planting data and plug that in. You build up that database through yield history, then obviously that's gonna help your bottom line as far as helping you sleep at night by having those guarantees a little higher.